Hello beautifuls, it's Charlotte here with Dragonfly Soul Healing. So I had the most magical meditation ever tonight with the group. Those quantum witch circles are so powerful, so powerful. I can feel the energy even hosting and holding the space. I feel like all the upgrades, all the things that we move and everything happen in my world as well, and so it's so powerful. It's interesting, as soon as I get on, my eyes want to kind of start going, so I feel like we've got some people kind of avoiding dealing with their emotions. That has been a bit of a symbolism that's been coming up a lot lately, but it was also a big thing that came up today. Like there was 3 different layers of emotions that I pulled off of people, as well as pulling a piece out of the right side of the neck. So it goes down kind of into the shoulder and down partway the spine, kind of in between the spine and the shoulder blade, kind of in the middle there. So if you are holding that piece, I will just kind of send the codex of what I've found so far. The whole piece isn't out of my neck yet, so I haven't quite got all of it, but there's many layers that came out. So if you need those codes, we're tapping into it now here and just kind of moving that energy as well. I got a new deck today, the Cat Tarot from one of my beautiful friends. So we're gonna pull a couple cards from that deck. But we tapped in with the Pleiadans tonight, and so cool. We actually went up and upgraded the entire chakra system. So the Pleiadans came through and had a whole set of crystals that went in each chakra and activated and up-leveled each one of the people in the circle today. And then after we did that, we all circled around the earth on this cloud that we were on, and we expanded that chakra system out and to the earth. And then we all connected together as it like wrapped around the whole earth, and it was just like, it's like every one of those meditation circles goes so freaking deep. I can't wait to be able to come to Saskatchewan and be able to do that, because it'll be able to rock people's worlds. Yeah, so it's super powerful, so much fun. I love connecting with everybody and really tapping into those energies and just winging it. I never know what I'm gonna do when I go into the meditation. We always have a theme kind of note we're going to tap into, but I never know how that meditation is going to play out. I just allow it to go forward however it needs to. So we always just free flow. And that's where they're so powerful, because I hold no control over how any of it's going to happen. I just let it happen. And everybody's energy connects so beautifully that it allows that energy to come forth. So if you guys haven't checked out a quantum circle yet, you should. Those quantum witch circles are magical, powerful. Okay, so we have the Moon card and the 7 of Swords, I believe, and the 5 of Cups. I just want to look these up because they have like the little symbolisms. So instead of telling you what it is, it's just like one symbolism. And I'm pretty sure that was the sword. So let me just check and see here. This deck's like brand new. I literally just got it tonight, so we're still kind of trying to figure it out. I pulled a couple cards with Rose before we left tonight. Okay, 7 of Swords. All you need to know is that this card is commonly called the Thief. Interesting, I call it the Deception. Someone, not necessarily you, is trying to get away with some mischief, perhaps trying to take what isn't rightfully theirs. Whoever it is needs to face the music. The only way to ease the pressure is by dealing with the situation head on. It's wise to hold hold tight to your assets right now, emotional, intellectual, or otherwise. Be alert to other people's deceptions. Yeah, see, deception's kind of what I usually see it as. So it feels like, I mean, there's been a lot of truths coming to the surface. It has been, a theme, a big theme. And I feel like with all these circles and everything we're doing, I feel like it becomes more and more of a theme where that truth is just, it has nowhere to go. And so this is why I feel it's so important to get these upgrades and these activations, is because my cat agrees. He'll agree with anything though. So the reason why it's so important to get these activations is because when you walk around in that light energy, in that light frequency, you are actually emanating those organic templates out to the other people, to the earth plane, back into that context to start healing the world, right? And that's really what we are working on today. So we also had the moon come out. It's interesting, this moon card. He's got the cat watching the couple of dogs there. We also got the crab, which always ties to the moon. We are in Cancer season right now, so we are kind of in that more sensitive time, which makes sense why we have a lot of emotions coming forward today. And it feels like this whole weekend, there's a lot of emotions coming up. I feel like there's some really big things about to take place in many, many people's worlds. And you're being called to really make sure you're standing in your truth and your authenticity, because if we are getting lost in the narrative of this human condition, we will see a lot more turmoil. And so it's really important that we are allowing ourselves to deconstruct all these mirrors. It's interesting. This is at the bottom of the deck over here from, like, I always just reset my cards in the morning and just let them be their own little theme. And that's what's here. Aligned with purpose, crossroads, no wrong path. But on my drive home, so, okay, interesting. So one of the girls after the meditation sent a video, and there was literally a rainbow going up and over the collective, and it was actually tapped into Mount Ida. So it went all the way across the valley, basically from the lake in a kind of. And so we have this rainbow coming in right after we finish pushing that rainbow energy into the earth to heal those ley lines. But we also really sent that energy just to every soul, every being, all the rocks, the trees, the dirt, everything, right? We really just connected to the entirety of the earth and anything on it. But then when Rose and I left, because we didn't leave right away, we kind of like clean everything up, and then we sit and kind of talk about it and just kind of chill out and come back to earth too. And when we left, it was pouring rain, like just pouring. And I sat in my car for probably 15 minutes by myself with no music, nothing. I just listened to the rain, and I just really connected to it because it was just so magical. It was kind of showing that cleanse. So every time we go and work on a town, we go move all kinds of energy, and then all of a sudden the rain just comes in and like washes everything. So it kind of confirms the work we're doing, which is always super powerful. So I was sitting in my car for about 15 minutes after the meditation and just really took in those water codes because it was so magical. And then driving home, they just repaved the road going from Salmon Arm towards Enderby. And so when I'm driving home tonight, it's pouring rain, but the road literally looks like a mirror because it's just fresh asphalt, no lines yet painted on the road. So you have just black canvas and that water coming down. It's raining so hard here right now that it's like the road is flooding. So the other road that hasn't been done in a while, the ruts were like pushing me around, hydroplaning me. It was raining so hard. It was just magical. Anyways, and there was like a mirror, and there was this whole illusion that I was like driving in home, and I was like, wow, this just feels like this weird time warp kind of energy where it's like, I don't know what we just did, but I can feel the movement of it. And Then behind some of the trees off towards Enderby, you've seen a couple big sheet flashes of lightning. And I was like, oh, yes. So we're creating a bit of a storm with this energy and with the shifts that are coming in right now. And I think that's probably going to be what this moon is about as well. So let's read that, because I'll just keep talking. At night, we do our best work, dream, recharge, or run madly around the room knocking things over. Upright, night is when you see most clearly your wishes, your desires, yourself. Pay no mind to the little dogs that would get in your way. They may create anxiety or uncertainty, but they're nothing more than pests. The crayfish represents, oh, that's a crayfish, not a crab. Huh. All right then. The crayfish represents the ego, hard-shelled and stubborn, which may also be unearthed in dreams. Follow your intuition, push through these fearful illusions, and pull, and you'll always make it home by morning. That's interesting. So both kind of almost talk about energies trying to interfere. And we did have some interference coming into that meditation tonight, where we were having to just push all that energy out, because not everything and not everyone wants us to heal, wants us to stand in our power. And this is a really, really big thing that we have to pay attention to and pay mind to. And so, the Seven of Swords with the moon, it feels like there's some truths coming to the surface. They're talking about pay no mind to these little yippy dogs, right? So think about what little dogs do. They have like that big dog attitude. And so we have this, like, some people are going to talk a big talk, but they don't walk their walk. I'm seeing this in some energies around right now with, all of us are experiencing things right now. So we're all kind of going through these weird circumstances where we're really being asked, are you going to stand in your power? And are you going to step into that magic? That's what these circles are about. And the more that I really let go and allow myself to just be the magic, walking down the street, doing the light language, moving things, being okay with people thinking I'm crazy. After my day yesterday, I went and jumped in the beach, in the lake, and I was just swimming by myself for a while, having to create a vortex around me the whole time because there's all kinds of shit in the water right now with it being so high. So it's not as enjoyable, but I still like the swim. But then after, I just sat on the beach and I was like moving energy. There was so many people on the beach and I was just like, oof, we gotta move some stuff. And so I don't care anymore. And it was something that I used to really care about a long time ago. And now I'm just like, it is what it is. We need somebody to be that catalyst. And if that means me standing on the street looking like a crazy person doing all my stuff, I'm fine with that now. And so the more that I do that stuff, the more that these people come in and allow themselves to be activated and upgraded. So there's some truths coming to the surface. What do we have here? This is the Five of Cups at the bottom. It's interesting because normally we have the 3 cups will normally be spilt over in the 5 of Cups, but here we've got them all stacked together. Like, here's the lessons we've learned. There's not much food left here, which makes me think of my cats, why my girlfriend bought me this deck of cards, because my cat's always, the death's underneath that one too. Oh, and the devil. Okay, weird. One of my friends mentioned Futurama today, and that reminds me of that Bender, the robot in that show, which is interesting. So what is that about? Kind of topping into like future timelines. And we see these like little butterflies, little moths, and we have a cat jumping out. And interesting, it would make sense because it is a cat deck, but they use the dog as the devil. But didn't they just say that the dogs were just pests? So we have to be mindful that we're not plugging into these devil energies. So this is very toxic patterns and behaviors and people who look like they're fun and playful and all this stuff, but what are they hiding behind the surface? When that truth comes to the surface, who are they really? And I feel like this is a huge thing, and this is that death coming forward. We got some pieces here. It's kind of beside the third eye, which is interesting. I pulled some pieces out of somebody here earlier today too. So it feels like this is a common piece we got in a few of you. It's interesting. This death is actually a vacuum, though, I'm pretty sure. We got the sun, and it almost looks like a storm on one side, and the cat's actually jumping into the storm, like the darker clouds compared to this bright white light sun. And I feel like that's what we have to be mindful of, is not to like get distracted by, sometimes we need that storm, right? And so we have to be mindful that we're not just jumping into what looks pretty, because there's something here. There's some kind of there's an illusion here. And I was feeling that on my way home, where I was just like driving, and you know, I hold those like truck driver codes still, right? So in my soul's like, this is fine, you know, it's like whatever. But my human was like, oh God, this is kind of sketchy. I can't fucking see. The road is like, it looks like this giant mirror. So it was like hard to see anything in that mirror. So Kat wants some codes too, because I've been gone all day. There's some kind of an illusion here. And I noticed that in my one client today too, where it was like, it felt like there was so many timelines mixed into each other that I couldn't see. Like, I even called her husband the wrong name, and I heard her call him the wrong name. I was like, no, I swear you said Wade. And she's like, I don't know a Wade. And it's like, I was like, hey, I actually heard Wade, and I don't usually mishear things, right? Because it's my job to listen in my sessions, to really find all those little clues that we usually miss in our being stuck in that story, right? I observe and I see outside the story. And so it's like there's some kind of an illusion here where we're kind of seeing many different possibilities, many different outcomes and stuff like that, which is what this is talking about. All these lessons, but still having places to go and things to do here. But it feels like an illusion in a sense. And I feel like this is some of the people that we have around us right now. It's like they're creating an illusion in our field. So I watched a friend recently leave her job. And okay, enough. And she was leaving her job because these people were like bullying her and manipulating her and not treating her good. And she chose to give her 2 weeks notice and take that high road and change circumstances. But then there was so much guilt put on her for quitting this job that in the aftermath, now that she's out of it, she's really struggling emotionally and all this stuff with being gone and leaving and feeling bad and guilty. And this is what that illusion feels like, right? These people are barking, but it's because these fuckers can't jump on the fence themselves. They're choosing not to do their work. And this is what I want you guys to be really mindful of, is we've got these people that are like, listen, I just want you to do the work for me. I don't want to jump up here. I don't want to go to the light, because you know what? Everybody who thinks that spirituality is fun and easy and just so on and so forth, no, it's you deconstructing the truth that's been all these false realities that have been put on our path, and the conditioning and the programming and everything. No, Theo, no. And the programming and everything that we've been stuck to. Becoming spiritual is you unseeing it all and seeing all the truth in those circumstances. So there's nothing necessarily fun about spirituality until we go through some of those really dark parts of it. But if you choose to go through those dark parts, you're able to start observing from that more fifth dimensional reality where you're observing the story take place instead of being in the story, barking and yipping and talking and talking and talking, but not walking your talk. Interesting cards. We do have that devil here though, so I would be really mindful, and I would ask your body if drinking is worth it anymore, especially with this devil card here, the death card, the moon. It's like things are going to be exposed, and we have to be really mindful. The alcohol is also another one of those conditioned, programmed things that we create normalcy of, but yet every time we drink, we are opening our field and are susceptible to all kinds of entities. It's interesting. We have this Woodward here, and I'm like, this isn't a bad card actually, but that's kind of the energy. It's like you don't know what you're bringing into your field. We go really deep into that darkness, and we also create this stuck energy where we're stuck down here because we really can't get to these higher planes when we're drinking the alcohol. The alcohol actually really traps us in our Akashic records, our past life traumas. This is why we feel so depressed. So not only do we have entities coming in and kind of manipulating our field, for anybody that's really dealt with anybody who really drinks, there's like that flip point where your friend is there, your person's there, and all of a sudden they flip and you can see in their eyes they're Gandhi. This is when those beings are really taking over in the field. And so I'm not trying to create fear. I'm just trying to create some awareness so that we really be mindful of it, right? I don't judge you if you drink still, right? I just ask you, okay, is that really what your body's requiring? So another thing with that alcohol is because we're so tied into our Akashic records when we are drinking, that's a lot of what's causing that depression. So yeah, you're poisoning yourself, stuff like that, 2222. But we're also going really deep into our Akashic, so all of our past life traumas and dramas and all the things. So then we like reintegrate and reinstill all those Akashic records, and then we wake up the next day and we're just like, ugh, I just want to die. And this is where we find a lot of people really go back to that alcohol, still trying to find that fun. Remember when you were first drank those few times and you had all that fun and you did all the things and you were able to talk and all the things, but that goes away really quickly, just like with drugs. And so it's something to be mindful of right now. We are in a long weekend right now, so I can imagine there's all kinds of drinking happening, right? Well, we know there is. And so because of that energy, and because these beings know that it's a long weekend, guess what? Everybody's drinking. What are they going to do? They're going to tap into that alcohol harder, right? Because even the average people who don't normally drink, so people like myself, I was never really a drinker. So even like beforehand, it was like it would be special occasions like this where it's like, okay, everybody's like drinking, so maybe I'll get a bottle of wine. And so it's in these times where we have like summer here, where we have long weekends or special events, guess what? They are going to draw into these moments of time because there's people that who don't normally drink who are going to be. And I don't really know, I mean, the devil, I guess, is where I kind of got onto the drinking, but I feel like there's a big death taking place, and what side of the bus do you want to be on is kind of what I would think. See, we got some kind of distraction here because I can't even pull them words out. So what side of the coin do you want to be on when the shit hits the fan? Because things are about to blow up and get explosive and crazy for some, depending on where you are in your timeline and how you're handling it. If you're going through your shitstorm right now and you're deconstructing and standing up for yourself and really pulling out of this devil, 7 of Swords energy, 5 of Cups, like, man, like, damn, we didn't even pull any like happy cards. We pulled really Like, this is what's happening. We have to get out of this toxic energy because all it's doing is making you feel like you're missing out. And then you're like getting deceived by these people in your world who act like your friends, or, you know, like they're an ally, but really they're an enemy. So that's interesting. Really, I did not, after all that Pleiadian energy, I didn't think I was going like death and fucking deception here, but you can't make any shit up anymore. It doesn't even surprise me anymore. So I will leave you at that because I just did 25 minutes. And yeah, just pay attention to what's going on in your field. There's a lot of things changing, and we need to be very mindful of what we're doing and what we're putting into our body and who we are putting into our body. I won't go there. I'll just leave it there because that's a whole nother subject that is all kinds of hijacked. So I hope you guys are doing well. If you guys need some more personalized attention, some activations, just reach out to me. I will also leave a link for like my booking site and everything on the link here when I post this. And I'll also leave a link for the pendulum course if you're ready to start building your tool belt and really getting some like great tools to move energy. That pendulum course is so magical, so magical. I'm watching people take it and changing their lives with it. So that's really cool because I didn't know what to expect from it when I built it. So anyways, I hope y'all have a great day, and I will chat with y'all soon. Take care.